Vicky. VickyLoi is dealing with some very interesting developments on reputation and how brand changing the eWord of each of you, whenever you go online and you put a report on TripAdvisor and you say something about the Olive Hotel or any other hotel for that matter, you're already contributing to the reputation of that property or to that destination. And what we are looking at is how technology and e-word of mouth is actually influencing the branding and the reputation of both destinations and hotels. And Vicky is leading on this. Vicky?
Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. My name is Vicky, but my Chinese name is eWordofMouthVickyLoi, and it is my pleasure to introduce my research to you. The topic of my research is critical analysis into the role of social media and e-word of mouth shaping online reputation from a corporate perspective. Here is how, oh dear, anyway. To start with, recently, these corporations has been dominated in the news, including the horse meat scandal for Tesco, and also the tax avoidance for Google, Starbucks, Amazon, and Apple. To a certain extent, their corporate reputation has been damaged. Corporate reputation, in fact, is very important. For example, it represents the competitive advantage. It is difficult to copy, and it contributes to superior profits as well, and allow the company to charge premium prices, and it will be able to attract the qualified quality applicants, investors, and customers. And it is also considered as a valuable asset to the corporation as well. And more importantly, it is the strong determinant for the company sustainability. Corporate reputation became the subject of interest since the beginning of 1990s. Since then, a number of researchers has tried to define what is corporate reputation. For example, Froben has defined corporate reputation is the aggregate perception of the stakeholders in and around the organization, and Gosti and Wilson define corporate reputation is the stakeholders' overall evaluation of a company over time. And if you look at Wenton and Mackey, they define corporate reputation is the particular type of feedback received by an organization from its stakeholders concerning the credibility of the organization's identity claims. So as you can see, different researchers, they define corporate reputation differently. However, literature review shows that there is, in terms of because of the diversity of in the definitions of corporate reputations, literatures argue that there is no conceptual consensus about the definition of corporate reputation. The understanding of corporate reputation becomes more complex when it comes to when social media is taken into account. Social media, in a broad sense, is some internet applications allow the users to exchange the information, to share the information. These also including discussing, sharing, and commenting the product, service, and brand with the past, present, and potential customers as well. Some example of the social media is, for example, the social networking, such as Facebook or Twitter. On the other hand, blog, they are a form of social media as well. And also the content communities, such as YouTube, they are also a form of social media. With the global reach of the internet and the popularity of the social media, the comments, the customer comments and the opinions, they will be spread all over to the cyberspace quickly, intensively as well. As a result, we call these comments and opinions spread as a e-word of mouth. eWord-of-mouth is considered influential to the consumers, particularly when the objects is difficult to evaluate, involve the experience nature, and also there is a perception of high risk as well. The travel and tourism, given the experience nature for the travel and tourism industry, eWord-of-mouth is particularly important and crucial in the travelers when it comes to the decision making. From the latest statistics published by from TNews, so people will use the social media to search the information, but only 48% of the social media user, they will stick with their original plan. In other words, there is 52% of the online users, they will, their decision making will be influenced by the social media. For example, 33% of the online user will be influenced by the social media to change their hotel choice. And 10% of the online users, they will be influenced by the social media to change their resort choices as well. On the other hand, in terms of trust, while 92% of the consumers, they trust some of word of mouth and recommendations from their friends and their family, 70% of the global consumers, they will say the online consumer reviews, which is the form of word of mouth, they are the second most trusted sources. So you will see the electronic word of mouth, the word of mouth in the social media having a very influential power in consumer decision making. On the other hand, to the organization, those aggregations of the word of mouth, in fact, it will contribute to the building of the online reputation from the company, about the company. This, of course, the aggregation for the positive word of mouth will contribute to the building as a positive online reputation for the company. However, the aggregation of the negative word of mouth could be potentially become a damage, becomes a negative online reputation for the company. For example, in 2008, this Canadian musician, his guitar was broken during a trip to the United Airlines. But the United Airlines refused to compensate the guitar. As a result, this musician make a video and puts it all over to YouTube. And I'm going to play some of the video with you.
Nebraska, the plane departed Halifax, connecting in Chicago's O'Hare. While on the ground a passenger said from the seat behind me, my God, they're throwing guitars out there. The band and I exchanged a look, best described as terror, at the action on the tarmac, and knowing whose projectiles these would be. So before I left Chicago, I alerted 3 employees who showed complete indifference towards me. United, you broke my Taylor guitar. Just admit it, I should have flown.
Okay. So you will see these videos has been posted to the YouTubes and generate more than 13 million views, and also massive numbers of the eWord of mouth, the message, the comments about United Airlines. So to a certain extent, this negative word of mouth, these aggregations, this massive number of the viewings and the comments has constituted damage to the online reputations of the United Airlines. And as a result, posing challenge to the reputation management to the company as well. On the other hand, social media and eWord of mouth have shifted and process of brand creation and brand management. The emerge of the social media nowadays has empowered the consumers. In other words, consumers, they are having more, they are not passive consumers anymore. They are actively exchanging information over the social media. As a result, this information will be having some impact to the online branding of the organizations. In other words, the organization image originally portrayed on their online websites will be different with what people, the online users' comments and opinions put on the social media. This information asymmetry phenomenon actually creating a certain challenge to the online branding, brand management, and subsequent reputation management as well. Research has called, given this issue, in fact, research has called for more investigations about the impacts of social and eWord of mouth on online reputation management, and brand management. So the aim of my research is to critically explore the role of social media and eWord of mouth on reputation management and branding within the tourism industry. In order to achieve the aim, I have set out 4 different objectives. The first one will be analyze the roles of the social media and eWord of mouth in online reputation and branding. And the second objective is to explore the interrelationship between the corporate identity, corporate image, corporate reputation, and the online branding. And the third objective is to develop a conceptual framework to highlight the relative roles of social media and eWord of mouth on online corporate reputation and the branding. And finally, we'll identify social media indicators and factors which may contribute to online corporate reputation. Based on the previous discussions, a model was built. Has been built in order to explore the role of social media and eWord of mouth in online reputation. Specifically, for the eWord of mouth, I will base on opinion leaders because it is anticipated. Opinion leaders is an informative providers and is widely trusted, so it is anticipated the information generated from the opinion leaders will provide a foundation for me to explore the online reputation. And based on the eWord of mouth from the opinion leaders, corporate image and corporate reputations will be explored. And at the same time, I will also look at, in order to determine online corporate reputation, and also using the interrelationship between corporate identity, image, and corporate reputation to explore online corporate reputation as well. And the third, which is based on the interrelation, the results, based on the analysis from corporate identity, image, and reputation, the results will help to identify what area need to pay attention by the brand manager in order to minimize the information asymmetry phenomenon from the online environment. I am a first-year PhD student, so I do not have any results to share with you. However, I would like to share my research methods with you. The research methods I'm proposing is the qualitative approach, and specifically, data will be collected through social media and interview, and the data will be analyzed by content analysis. In terms of the tourism context, I'm going to look at hotel And the social media I'm going to look at is TripAdvisor, Facebook, and Twitter. And the eWord of mouth I'm looking at is opinion leaders. And the interview, I'm going to interview academics, marketing experts, and hotel managers. Through the triangulation of the social media search, interviews with academics and marketing experts, interviews with the hotel managers, corporate identity, corporate image, and corporate reputation will be identified. And then, based on those information, a conceptual framework will be developed in order to determine the indicators of online reputation, corporate reputation. The contribution to knowledge of my research is the first one. The research will provide the insights of how brand management and reputation management is changing as a result of technology and social media. And the second one will be the research will provide a conceptual framework for synthesizing corporate identity, image, online corporate reputation through the social media and eWord of mouth. In terms of the managerial implications, my research would increase the management ability to take advantage the social intelligence via the in-depth study of the social media and managing their branding online reputation. The second implications is the best practice will be recommend enabling any corporate identity, image, reputation gap to be closed. And finally, my tourism and hospitality management will benefit from my research. For conducting this research, there will be some challenge ahead for me. For example, in terms of coding the social media message, it could be time-consuming. However, with the support of my supervisory team, my chief supervisor, Professor Dimitrios Buhalis, my second supervisor, Professor Stephen Page, and my first supervisor, Dr. Alessandro Iversini, I'm confident I will be able to achieve the aims and objectives, and the data will be able to inform the industry as well. This is the end of my research. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky. Some people were surprised to see me without the bird up there. It's a recent thing. Okay, so you understand the importance, especially how many hoteliers have we got here, apart from Olivia? Okay, so I guess that you may actually like to have a conversation with Vicky afterwards, because this is really, really critical in the sense that that a lot of the discussions that we have on online media, it's influencing directly your reputation. Any questions on the spot? Okay, Ken first. Be brief, please.
Yes, be brief. Right. I'm involved with the... I'm Ken Robinson. I'm a tourism anorak. I'm not one of those elderly people because I was born too soon. 1944. I'm not retired, but apart from that, I kind of fill the bill. A number of places are opting out of hotel classification and grading schemes because of the increasing power of online consumer-fed sites. And I think it would be a good idea to include in your analysis things as good as Booking.com rather than just TripAdvisor, because TripAdvisor is full of a lot of really strange stuff which the algorithms can't get rid of, whereas Booking.com has reliable guest-formed opinions. And the interesting thing about that is that there's a hierarchy developing of people whose opinions, that people are writing really helpful reviews, not just bland, simple statements, and those really helpful reviews are forming this very reputation that you're describing. That we're now in Tourism Southeast, which are one of the things I chair, we're opting out of hotel classification and grading schemes in some areas and going just to consumer-based judgments, backed up with a code of practice.
Thank you for your comments.
Would you answer?
The reason I choose TripAdvisor because it is the most used search on online review sites by travelers. And this is my decision for using this. but I will certainly consider Booking.com as well.
That's a good suggestion because on Booking.com you must have done a booking before you do the review.
You must have stayed.
No, you must not have stayed. You must have done a booking. I'll talk to you about that afterwards.
If you don't pay, you can't, if you don't actually pay, and if the hotelier doesn't say that you paid, any opinion you put is removed. So, you know, if you get that far, I didn't think you would get that far.
You can. We'll talk. But that's interesting. It's very, very interesting.
Thank you.
Would you like to say who you are, where you're from?
I'm Janice Gossam from Weymouth.
What's your perfume?
Anything by Joe Malone.
Okay.
This might be a really dumb question, but who are the opinion leaders?
Thank you for your questions. At this stage, I will base on the number of views, the number of like or number of likes, number of comments to judge what is opinion leaders at the moment. Yes, and the number of comments. Yeah.
I guess, in a way, the online opinion leaders are those people who are more online. So if you look at my profile on TripAdvisor, I probably have reviewed something like 100 hotels. I'm a destination expert in a couple of places. So by definition, you're actually generating quite a lot of stuff. If you look on Twitter, you see that people have done more than 5,000 tweets. So these people are visible. They are just getting out there. And old bad days in hotels, you'll have people who are opinion leaders who are speaking to you directly on the reception, the front office. But now they're just speaking to you through different channels. And the question is, how do you get the information from the different channels, and how do you engage with that? Okay? Thank you.
The other thing I'd like to point out is that there are some malicious...
Say who you are.
Sorry, Miles Howard, Langtree Manor Hotel in Bournemouth.
Perfume?
Sorry?
What's
I put links. Sorry. There are some malicious people who try to influence, and that your reputation is very hard earned and is very easily lost. So I'm just putting it out there that you can have a malicious sort of either campaign or person who takes against you. How do you cope with that?
Vicky, you'd like to take that, or should I respond to that? We had, I mean, I'm working with some of the hotels around the world, and we are training some of the hoteliers around the world, and we had situations like that. There are different responses to actually do that. In one occasion, in one of the hotels I'm engaged, there was someone who was copying and pasting bad reviews from other places. And all of a sudden, in 1 week, we had 10 or 15 catastrophic reviews. But when you're looking into details, you could find out that the reviews were wrong. So we documented, we developed it, we went TripAdvisor, we removed those reviews. You can document it, you can see there are management responses. But most of the times it's not that. Most of the times it's someone is not agreeable with what you offer, quite often because what you promise to offer is different than what you actually offer. So,
What they perceive you.
but what they perceive is very much related to what you promise on the very first place. So some of the things that we do is looking into these things and developing management responses to that. And we're doing a lot of research on this area. It's a fascinating area. Okay, going back. Thank you very much, Vicky. Clap, clap, clap.